Now, in case you didn't guess, that was an excerpt from Ready, Steady, Go, widely regarded to be the forerunner of all modern pop TV programmes. Now, when the series was wound up in 1968, the films disappeared, and a lot of people were led to believe that they'd been erased and lost forever. Wrong. They were in the hands of Dave Clark, of the Dave Clark 5, and he's now let Thorn EMI bring out a home video. Ready, Steady, Go, Volume 1, which is coming out now. Now, John Platt, who's with me here, he's just written a book on the Yardbirds, and is meant to be a bit of a buff about the 60s, so I believe. So, John, can you tell me, why was Ready, Steady, Go so successful?
Well, I think the first thing you've got to remember is that prior to Ready, Steady, Go, most of the pop programmes like Thank You Lucky Stars and Oh Boy and all the others have been essentially middle-of-the-road productions, not really catering for the new pop music at all. And so really, Ready, Steady, Go was the first really exciting, dramatic pop programme that we ever had in this country.
Right, it claimed, as you'd have seen on the TV just now, that the weekend starts here. Now, I think you were a school kid in those days. Did the weekend start there for you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as soon as you got home, that was exactly the first thing you did. I mean, it was really exciting. You got home, switched on the television, and there were all these groups like The Who, or The Animals, or The Stones, or Amazing American Band.
Did the groups actually play live?
No, in the early days they generally didn't.
Oh,
I think this is one of the myths attached to Ready, Steady, Go, that in fact it really was live. Only a very few of the early ones were live. It wasn't until '67 that the thing actually became Ready, Steady, Go's live. And
do you think it was at all overrated? Because people have got this incredible impression of it, haven't they?
Well, I don't know. I think that in many ways it really was an exciting programme. It was the place where you could hear all the new music, where all the new styles would be put across, and it was where everybody decided what they'd be wearing for the next 6 months or whatever.
Right.
But I think in retrospect, because it wasn't totally live, and the fact that a lot of the groups weren't.
Well, we're going to see some of it now, I believe. Coming up now, you've got your chance. Did Ready, Steady, Go really rip off the Tube? Well, that's what our producers reckon. Anyway, the legendary Yardbirds used to be a regular appearance on Ready, Steady, Go, partly due to the fact that one of them was clever enough to fall in love with one of the producers. That's the way to do it for all you budding bands out there. At least that's what it says in this book. Yardbirds, written by John Platt, who's with me now, along with ex-Yardbirds Krista Dreyer and Jim McCarthy. John, how did you get to write a book about the Yardbirds, especially so many years on?
Well, last year I was doing a series for Channel 4 called The 60s, which I was consultant, and they asked me to choose a band from the 60s that I thought were both archetypal and unique from the 60s, and we were going to hang a programme around them. Well, unfortunately, the programme didn't work out as planned, but in the course of doing it, I met Chris Dreyer and Jim McCarty, and they said they'd always wanted to write a book, but they couldn't write, so they wanted me to do it with them, which is basically what we did.
Have there been other books on the Yardbirds before?
No, not at all. I mean, there have been odd things on Beck and Page, but never on the Yardbirds as a whole.
You call them unique. Why is that? Why were they so important?
Well, for various reasons. I mean, partly obviously because they had three of the best guitarists England's ever produced going through the band. I mean, Clapton, Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page.
Right.
But I think also in other ways because they ran the whole gamut from R&B through the mod era, psychedelia and onto heavy rock. And the fact that really they were the first band to be regarded as musicians and not just a backup for a pretty lead singer.
Yeah, I believe that they were more or less responsible for inventing the lead guitar solo, the infamous heavy metal lead guitar solo.
Oh yeah, I mean, accidentally that happened with Clapton because he was the only guitarist they knew in the area who played rhythm and blues. But with him, they redefined the whole role of the guitar player. And consequently, when Clapton left, that's really what they were looking for to replace him. Right,
well, Jeff Beck actually wrote the signature tune for the Tube. He is also the guitar player on this, coming up now.
Where is he? Tell me where.